Getting into game one and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our Chilean Terran player, the blue Terran. It is LucianO. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the Peruvian Terran, representing Imperforce. It is Bombilla. Here we go. Ooh, oh my god, we're proxying. Before we get into this here, we do have the proxy 2-Rax at LucianO, looking to reintroduce Bombilla to TvT. He's like, welcome back, old man. Let's go. As our Raxes are on the way. Bombilla behind this is setting up with a center opener. Does check though. Does SCV scout? He checks his third, he checks his fourth, and Bombilla, he will scout this well ahead of time. He forces the cancel as well. Ay, ay, ay. And Bombilla looking strong here in game one. He does have the wherewithal to scout. He does force a cancel on the first Rax. Second Rax is still on the way. It's still going to be, I would imagine, a 2-Rax opener here, but a Rax back at home instead. And this is just a rough start for LucianO. Ay, ay, ay. Not like this, as the plans are in disarray. And he will finish the Rax at least. He will make a Reaper because he has to. But rough start. Very rough start here for LucianO. He has to pull away. He has to pull out. Reaper's in production. Reaper all the way for Bombilla. It is going to be double gas opener, going for a faster factory. And coming into this, Bombilla has a lead. Bombilla, he's in a better position here. Now, what does Bombilla have? Faster Hellion production. With this faster Hellion production, if he's able to kill this first Reaper, if he's able to shut it down, even then there's going to be a window in time where Bombilla can even counterattack and threaten his opponent. I'm really concerned for LucianO coming into this in the mirror matchup, especially. Oh no! Ooh, gets an SCV! Gets an SCV, trades 1-for-1. Ay, ay, ay. You know, Bombilla, he shoots first. Yeah, Bombilla, he does shoot first. Oof. Bombilla, he does take down the first Reaper. Brutal start here, LucianO. The Rax got denied. The first Reaper goes down. LucianO, he is strictly behind in the worker, in the army count. He's behind in the army count. He's behind in the work count. Behind in everything so far. Gonna be late when it comes to the Hellion. And this is just a very rough start here for LucianO. Ay, 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 yeah, he's racing back home. He has to. And what's scary here is that there is a massive period, there's a massive window where his Rax isn't doing anything. Like, the Rax is floating, the Rax is not producing. So straight up, Bombilla should have the army supply lead. He's gonna have a massive army supply lead. Once he deals with this Reaper, he can counterattack. Speaking of this Reaper, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go down. There's no escaping this. One more shot, and it will fall. And what are we working with? 0 army units. LucianO has 0 units right now. Bombilla, now is the time to counterattack, by the way, and he's moving out. He is pushing 2 Hellions, 3 Reapers, and we have a Cyclone on the way. The Cyclone will help. We have Magfill accelerators. I mean, the Cyclone is a very high-tech unit. It can hold its own. Getting to a second factory. LucianO, he's trying to get into mech. But it's not going to be easy. Yeah, there we go. Delay on the CC. LucianO, he already evacuated. And this Cyclone is not secure either. Bombilla, he can go for the dive. He can, and he will. Yeah, he's going for the dive. He'll lose 1 Reaper. Cyclone takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of damage. Bombilla, he commits. Oh, he will lose the Hellion. Hellion goes down. SCV is going to be falling. And he can just trade. He can just trade with the SCVs. Yeah, getting another worker and another. Oh, God. So from here, just focus down as many workers as he can. And that was how many? 5 SCVs going down. LucianO down almost 10 workers. His CC is still halfway done. Bombilla, it's already complete. And remember, this is all because of the failed proxy. Like, that just, it all came down to that. It all came down to the failed proxy. You can see just how difficult it is to recover. And this is why I appreciate that it's going to be mech. From the side of LucianO, getting into mech here, it does make sense. It is a way to bounce back in this game. What I will say is that, alas, because he's going mass Cyclone, the tank production here of Bombilla is still going to be superior, defensively at least. But LucianO, he has potential to bounce back. He has potential to just catch a couple of key units to pick up a Cyclone, pick up a tank here and there. Catch a Raven, catch a Medevac. But the pressure is on LucianO. As he is making nothing but Cyclones, making 2 Cyclones at a time. A mass Cyclone, let's go. Likewise, oh, LucianO, he wants that Cyclone. He wants it. He's going to get it. Ooh, barely not the tank. Oh my god, the tank punishes. The range is crazy. Range is insane, trading 1 for 1. LucianO, he does fall back. Rebuilding his racks before he loses it. T making more factories. Bombilla trying to bait the Cyclone within tank range. Trying to bait him in. 3rd TC on the way. And looks like the game is going to slow down. Bombilla, he still is ahead. He still has a lead. He's up 10 workers. He's up in the tank count. Bombilla is still in a better position, but he is not pushing, he's expanding. And so is LucianO. So both players are expanding, both players building up into the mid game. Because this, again, there are going to be opportunities for LucianO, and I should emphasize that they are opportunities and he has to take them. He has to take them whenever he can. Oh no! Oh, as he does get within tank range. Cyclone goes down. 2 Cyclones go down. We can't afford these missteps here. We can't afford these mistakes. As Bombilla getting to mech as well. Oof. Getting to his own mecha. Mech versus... It's been a while. It's been a while, Bobby, but here we go. Mech versus mech. Strap yourselves in. I mean, I was fully prepared to stumble into this. 100%. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Meanwhile, Cyclones do catch 1 tank. Goes down. Not a bad pickoff here. Backfield still on the way for Bombilla. Likewise, Blue Flame on the way from LucianO. Now switching into tank heli production out of the Cyclones. I would say that this investment into Cyclones wasn't quite worth it here for LucianO. Had potential to pick up some key units, but failed to do so. Got 1 tank, yes, but traded out a lot of Cyclones. Did trade a lot of Cyclones. Raven harass across the map, catching out more SCVs. Oh my god. It's getting out of hand as we have more order turrets as well. We're still holding on to them, and GG gets called before we can get into the mid game. Too many losses, too much of a deficit, and Bombilla will take game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. A very rough position there for LucianO. I do not blame him for tapping out. Even though there was no big battle, there was no major end fight, he was too far behind. It was just a very rough start, and as we saw, he was losing even more SCVs, so he was taking even greater deficits. Yes, there are ways to come back in TvT, there's ways to outposition, but there's only so much that you can do when you're that far behind. GG. GG, well played. Again, just a really rough start for LucianO because, as a reminder, it all began because of the scattered proxy. The scattered proxy was brutal, and from that moment onwards, he was playing from behind, and now we're getting into game number 2, and we'll see if LucianO can bounce back and actually get into his game, and actually get into his TvT. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have our Chilean Terran player, the Blue Terran, behind in the series, down in this matchup. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is LucianO. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, representing Imbaforce, leading the series 1-0 from the land of Peru. It is Bombilla. We go. So far, Bombilla looking solid in that last game, but a lot of it also came down to the opener, came down to the early game. Just a very solid start from Bombilla, and from there did snowball out of control. Speaking of, after game 1, don't blame him, scatting. He checks the 3rd location, and he is checking the gold location as well. These are the more common proxy locations. What I will say is that this location here is another relatively common location, but so far Bombilla just checking all the standard locations first, and so far doesn't find anything, as there is nothing to scout. And he's checking this location as well. So it does check all the proxy locations. Oh, geez, that's even checking the 4th location. Jesus. I mean, after what happened in game 1, I don't blame him. Bombilla just being very safe, being very secure. Once again, double gas open into a faster factory. Likewise, double gas out of LucianO as well. Same builds. Both players are going for the same builds. Both players are going for their factories. So far, so good. We are going to be settling in. From here, after what happened in game 1, we might actually get into mech. Like, on the one hand, shout out to Bombilla because he was ahead enough that we avoided mech versus mech on the previous map. On Ultra Love. But, yeah, coming into Omega, it is a larger map. It is a larger map with a map pool, a long rush distance by ground. If we wanted to, we could end up in some proper late game TvT. We could get there. Before that happens though, Proxy Starport. Okay, LucianO, you have my attention. Proxy Starport is on the way. This should be for, I was gonna say for a Hellion drop, where we can open up Reaper Hellion and go for a drop into the bases. But this could also be Proxy Liberator, where we have Reaper Hellion poking in from one end, and then the Liberator coming in from the other. That's what I'm leaning towards. We'll see. Likewise, Bombilla. Is this within range of the Zonaga? If he checks the Zonaga, he will see this. Fusion. Proxy Bees. Gumiho, is that you? LucianO, you're an animal. But Proxy BC's on the way. Let's go. Let's go. But before we can get there, Bombilla, he will catch out almost the first army. The Reapers do pull away in time, going for the middle line. SCV's going to be going down, and LucianO, he's zoned away completely. And before he can get into his own Proxy BC production back at home, he is under fire. He is in trouble. He's in danger here. Reapers, they dive in. Headed for the middle line. More SCV's going to be going down. Back at home, building up his bio army. Oh, and this is getting out of hand. This is becoming far too much damage here. 6, 7, 8 SCV kills. LucianO gets across enough. The tank does shut him down. There's a tank on the high ground. And he should recognize something is wrong. Where's the starport? Where's the second factory? Where's the second Rex? Where is the rest of your production? You're missing something. Is there a ninja base? What's happening? Bombilla should recognize that something is missing here. Something is amiss. As Bombilla
base is under attack, man.
Does back up. Bombilla, he is ahead by 10 workers. Shuts down the Hellion. Races back home. And that first battlecruiser is soon going to be on the horizon here for LucianO. Now just building up his forces, building up his bio. Cyclone moves out. There is BCs on the way. Now, when it comes to the anti-air here, the anti-air is lacking for Bombilla. He is going for the Raven, and you can disable a BC. So a disable will buy time, but right now he's hyper-fixated on tank production. If he doesn't make any Cyclones, I will say that this one BC could end the game. Like BCs early on can be quite difficult to deal with. I mean, for all races, really. But especially here in this kind of game state, without any Vikings, without any Cyclones, without many Marines, BCs will overwhelm. And yes, there are a handful of Marines, but these are vanilla Marines. There are 8 vanilla Marines. That's not enough. That is not going to be enough. Disables and order, basically the Ravens. The Ravens are going to be the backbone of the army here. with disables, with auto turrets. Building up more Marines. BC gonna be rallying in. Ooh, as the Cyclone does fall. Here comes a battlecruiser. Bombilla finally checks out now again. Now he knows. Now he sees the fusion core, sees the starport. Now Bombilla is aware. And here comes that battlecruiser. That battlecruiser has arrived. Do you go for the disable? Yeah, there it is. First disable. Ooh, does teleport away in time, just in time. Whew. And with that, Bombilla he defends. As we did mention, that Raven was the backbone of the army, and with the help of that Raven, supply block. Supply block means only one BC, only one battlecruiser. This second battlecruiser should not pop out. That was a brutal supply block, and this is not worth it. Going for a proxy starport and proxy fusion core, this is a big investment, and it is not worth it here. Not for one BC. Starport goes down. LucianO back at home, getting to his own mech. Second factory's on the way. Starport, third TC, third factory as well. That's a rough follow-up here. Speaking of mech, also mech from Bombilla. Getting into Viking and Cyclone production. Now, this is an overreaction. I mean, kind of. I was going to say that this is a lot of anti-air, but he just killed the starport. At the same time, the BC did survive, right? Like, the BC did survive, so there's still a battlecruiser out there. There's definitely value in getting into these Vikings and Cyclones. Yep, there's a disable. And what does disable mean? That means that we cannot teleport. At least not until it runs out. Do we have another disable? We do, yeah. The chain disable, the BC does fall. LucianO, he's been trying to be tricky this series. Like game 1, proxy 2 racks, game 2, proxy fusion core, proxy BC. And he's been shut down time and time and time again. It's like, LucianO, you don't have to cheese. You don't you don't have to be cheeky, man. And here comes Bombilla. Now, Bombilla does have the army supply lead. What I will say is that Bombilla, he did spend a lot of energy disabling the BC, which means there's less disables here for the tanks. So I don't think that Bombilla can break this position, not against these turrets and tanks. So he's knocking down those rocks. Rocks are knocked down. Oh. Takes down the turrets. As we just see Bombilla overextending for a moment here. Does spend some of his energy, does spend some of those auto turrets. What I mean by that is I feel like the disables are going to be crucial to breaking this, and you don't want to waste them. Don't want to waste the energy on those Ravens. Tanks are repositioning. Turret goes down, no more turrets. Here comes the dive. You have the mass disable. The tanks are already on siege, thankfully. And here we go, the boys are being pulled. Tanks do siege here for Bombilla. Is within range, and he will take down the mineral line. Yeah, he shuts down the bio. Shuts down the SCVs. Vikings, they land a little bit late. But that's still 16 SCV kills. Still worth it. Behind this Bombilla, he's on 3 bases himself, getting a 4th CC. Vikings, they maintain air control. Hunting on the Vikings here of LucianO. So we do have landed Viking harass. Oh. One Viking goes down. Scan reveals, of course, mech. Reveals the production, reveals saturation at the 3rd base. LucianO knows that he is behind. He's down 20 workers. And Bombilla's already getting his 4th base. Getting his 4th expansion. Scan reveals all 3 starports, so now he knows that LucianO's gonna have a massive Viking lead. LucianO making 6 Vikings at a time. If he had the economy for it. Going into mass Viking. Bombilla is trying to respond with his own starports, but these are late. So late starports out of Bombilla. Down those rocks. And the game is slowing down. Even though Bombilla has had a lead so far, like the game is going to slow down a little bit, it still comes down to positional play. LucianO now has a Viking advantage. Oh, not quite. Almost has a Viking advantage. It's getting there, closing that gap. Scan reveals all the starports. 4 starports for Bombilla. And after an explosive start to the game, we're slowing down. We're slowing down, throwing down more towers, more turrets. Yeah, ring of turrets on the way. Orbitals. CCs. Sensor towers. Yeah, we're meching it up. Let's go. I mean, LucianO's going to be the first to push. Interesting. Does move out on the right-hand side. I appreciate that LucianO's taking the initiative. I do think he needs to. Let's move in. First Raven goes down. Does get the first Raven. Vikings, they can punish this. We can keep going. Yeah, it does force a land. Does force a land. Oof. As technically, Bombilla could just camp these Vikings. He could just chase them. Oh, he lands. Oh, I mean, he can just may as well just take down the tanks. And Bombilla shuts down the tanks, and now we can just camp this army and just ensure that LucianO never lifts. We can keep going. Keep going back. As at this point, LucianO can actually take to the skies once again. There we go. Bombilla still has that Viking lead. Oh, brutal anti-armor missile. Missile goes off. Raven goes down with the Vikings. They will come out on top here for Bombilla. He just shuts down the Vikings with LucianO. Forces him back. Forces the land. I think I'm sure Bombilla, he's tempted to land himself. Oh. Is tempted. Does see those Vikings. Now would be the time to engage. Bombilla still has that Viking lead. Getting behind the mineral line. Denying the gold. Again, Bombilla, he's respecting this a little bit too much. He doesn't realize that he's ahead. He's got 27 Vikings to 21. Got a massive Viking advantage. There we go. Now he commits. Does commit. Shuts down the Vikings. Again, he can just keep chasing. Going for the CC. If it lives, yeah, Vikings are here. The Vikings will punish. They take down the CC. LucianO's being cornered. Bombilla, he rotates. It's still just all really about the Vikings. LucianO, he is catching up with the Viking count, true. He's catching up. Without that Raven, there's no clear advantage for Bombilla. Ooh, bleeds that one, bleeds that two. Yeah, he gets caught out. He gets caught out, forced to lift. Rough fight here for Bombilla. He will lose even more Vikings. And even though LucianO's been denied bases, even though he's been denied mining, LucianO does take the better fight. Now he can land on these tanks. These tanks have to get the hell out of here, and they won't. Yeah, they're going to be hunted down instead. Bombilla overextends. Pushing towards the north side. Does deny an expansion. True. He does lift. He's going to lose everything here. Every Viking's going down. LucianO, he does take the better fight. Cyclones, I guess they'll help. Kinda, I guess. They get a Viking. So you got a Viking. LucianO stuck on a 3-base economy. Bombilla, he's maxing out. Once again, though, Bombilla, his army is lacking when it comes to anti-air. A lot of this comes down to the air battle, and he's currently far behind here in the Viking count. The Liberators will help support. And Vikings forced to land. Oh, nice lock-ons, though. The Cyclones, they shut down the Libs. Yeah, that should not have happened. The Liberators do fall. Vikings, they go for the mineral line. They will shut it down. Getting every single SCV. Late reaction by Bombilla. And Bombilla, he can't take the fight. The locals are brutal. Oh, God. And the punish is real. Cyclones, they shut down the Vikings. Oh, my God. So hard, so fast. And Bombilla, he's done it. He has done it at this point. He's forcing back LucianO. Denies mining. Tanks are within range of the mineral line. 21 SCV kills and counting. 26. 27. And once the MOB, he does catch out those lives. Takes down the Liberators, catches out the Vikings. GG gets called, and Bombilla, he will take a 2-0 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We'll take a 2-0 lead. Again, Bombilla once again had a very strong start to the game because he was able to find the proxy fusion core, the proxy BC out of LucianO. What I will say is that LucianO, he did recover, kind of. He was able to take some better fights with his Vikings, but as a reminder, he was behind economically the entire game. He was behind economically the entire game, down in bases, down in workers. He never recovered economically. Again, he may have had some better fights here and there, but it wasn't quite worth it in the end. Wasn't enough to recover, and with that, Bombilla will take a further lead in the series, and we'll see if he can close the series out or if LucianO can bounce back. It's been a rough series so far. I'm hoping that LucianO doesn't proxy coming into the game 3, but the pressure is on. Or is it off? It depends on how you look at it. As a reminder, this is a best of 3, but all 3 matches are played regardless of scoreline. And here we go, we're getting into that third game, and spawning in the top right hand corner of ley lines, we have the Chilean Terran player, the blue Terran, down in the series. Can he make a series out of this? Can he put a point on the board? It is LucianO. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Peruvian Terran player, the red Terran representing Imperforce. It is Bombilla. And so far, Bombilla looking solid. As I mentioned leading into this series, even though Bombilla has been very inactive for years at this point, Bombilla, he has been, or what I should say is that TvT hasn't really changed too much. TvT hasn't really changed too much over the years. It's still very similar, very constant. As I mentioned before, there are some quirky builds here and there that have been added and have been refined, but outside of that, the foundation of TvT is still there, like tank counts, like positional play, air control, and air advantage is still a big factor. As once again, Bombilla being very vigilant here in scouting. After what happened in now game 1 and in game 2, being very, very careful. Very careful with the scouting. He even checks the top side of the map. And LucianO, he does go for his own SCV scout as well. As we have our double gas opener out of Bombilla. LucianO going for an economic opener for the first time this series. For the first time, we do see a single gas, which means a faster CC. go. As Bombilla, he does keep his SCV hidden. Now, because it's hidden SCV, it looks like proxy starport. It looks like 111 proxy starport. Now, just like we were assuming in the previous game, this should either be proxy starport into medevac for a drop into the main, or starport into liberator for aggression at the natural, and then liberator slips into the main base at the same time, while there's a distraction going on. So it should be one of the two. Technically, this can be proxy like BC, but like it's very niche. What are the odds that we see that here in game 3? Relatively high because it happened in game 2, but we'll see. As the SCV is on patrol, factory does complete, so building up that Reaper Hellion. Again, LucianO, he will have that greater economy. Yes, all 3 games played. Once again, if you're in the chat, if you do see the scoreline, as a reminder, this is a best of 3, but all 3 games are played. This is the case for all matches in the group stage, regardless of scoreline. If it's a 3-0 or a 2-1, all 3 games are played out. So, best of 3, all games played. And here we go. Bombilla does move out. Likewise, that proxy starport is on the way. It is a bit of a later starport, is what I will say. So delayed starport into Tech Lab, into Banshee. Okay. You have Cloak Banshee on the horizon here for Bombilla. Oh, as he will lose his SCV, he actually Bombilla dragged all the way back home. Not bad. And LucianO does delay. Does delay. Likewise gets eyes on the Cyclone follow-up. Meanwhile, the Tech Lab is done. Show us those Banshees. There we go. Cloak Banshees on the way here for Bombilla. And back at home, what do we have to defend? So far, LucianO, he hasn't seen much as to what's going on, as he didn't quite get into the main base. So far, he's secure though. He's got his tanks, got his bio. Getting into a 2-base all-in. Ooh, it's been a while since I've seen this build, but this is going to be a 2-port 2-base all-in. If you remember, we actually saw Cure attempt this last night in the Rex March Madness in Cure's TvT against Bjorn. If you remember, Cure, he was going for the 2-port 2-base all-in, and then he died before he could really get it going. Like, Bjorn was able to catch him off guard, get bust into the natural, and just end the game before before Cure can get into his build. And we'll see how Bombilla reacts in response to this. So for those that are curious as to what this build is, basically it's Mass Viking. It's 2-port into Mass Viking. Once we get up to like around 4 or 5 Vikings, once we securely have air control, then you go into Liberators, right? Then you go into Liberators, and the goal here is that Liberators, they bully the ground army, and Vikings make sure that there's no anti-air to deal with the lid, and then you just end the game. So this is a 2-base all-in. Here we go, Vikings are still amassing. LucianO does rally across the map. Unfortunately, we do have Banshees building up, and the Banshees, they will get some counter damage done, but this will not help in the main base defense. This will not help in the defense. LucianO does push, back at home. There's not much anti-air. There's the one tank on the high ground, and Bombilla, he will take down the Reaper at least. Does run away. LucianO, he rotates. Does rotate, looking for another way in. Banshees, they do hit the main. So he's going to be going down, but there are plenty of Vikings. Where's the cloak? Ooh, does cloak in time. Does cloak. Scan not quite available. Bit of a miss rally. A bit of a miss rally here. As Bombilla bleeds out more Hellions. Vikings still building up. Delay in the 3rd CC. Bombilla does at least scout that, but he's going to be shut down. It's going to be cleaned up. He does get how many? 8 SCV kills. Not bad. Not bad damage. Now, bearing in mind that LucianO, he is getting, or he's trying to get a 3rd CC behind this, so he is not all in. He is attempting to expand. Got another worker. As LucianO is still trying to find a way in. Meanwhile, another Cloak Banshee on the way. LucianO throwing down an eBay. That's going to be for turrets. So far, still just a very awkward game state. Bombilla does have that worker advantage. Does pull the boys. This time less sure about. Okay, does pull the boys. Tries to break the siege line. A lot of SCVs going to be going down. Oh my god. Going to be losing everything here. SCVs do fall. He will clean this up. But this was a messy fight for Bombilla. Ooh, as he will lose how many? 16 SCVs go down. Bombilla had a worker lead. Not anymore. And he's committing. He's committing across the map. Back at home, there's one tank to defend. Yeah, moving in. Does move in. Sieging up those tanks. Again, air control still in favor of LucianO. Oh, and Bombilla, no, he missed the scan. He does miss. Tank goes down. Nice pickup. Vikings do land. He gets another tank. Gets a cyclone. And LucianO looking solid here. LucianO, he now takes a lead. He's up on workers. He's up on bases. Third base still floating over for Bombilla. Fourth CC. Sorry, another factory on the way. No comments any yet. Once again, it's going to be mech from both players. Mech from Bombilla and from LucianO. Meching it up. LucianO, he breaks out. Doesn't have disable. So it's going to be an awkward engage. LucianO is looking for a way in. The supplies are still quite close, but the Viking count is clearly in lead of LucianO. He's got plenty of Vikings. Shuts down the Vikings of his opponents, zones them away, and he can go straight for the mineral line. He can, and he will. He lands. Boys that's going to be trying to pull away. Vikings, they shut down SCVs so fast and so quick. Boys are being pulled. Bombilla, he tries to break out, and he will. But at a cost. So many SCV kills here. Oof. Yeah, the natural base forced to lift. Vikings have to get the hell out of here. And he shouldn't get the CC. It barely won't. Doesn't get the command center, but alas, he has gotten 47 SCV kills. Aye, aye, aye. 47 SCVs going down. And again, it's just been a rough defense here for Bombilla. Time and time again, just losing so many workers. And now he's down to 32, down to, what, a 2-base economy? If that. Shadowy waddles in. Getting another couple of SCVs, nothing major. It's going to be an expensive run by, and he's going to lose this tank. Behind this, LucianO still has the Viking lead, the tank lead, and of course the SCVs as well. Just now building up his production, getting further ahead. And here comes a move out. Here comes a death wall of an army here. He's got tanks, he's got Vikings, he has everything he needs. Technically, it can still be difficult to push up a ramp into all these tanks, but he might be able to find a better angle here towards the natural. Yeah, there's a big opening here towards the left-hand side. Dust bolt all the tanks. LucianO get within range. Where's the scan? No scan. This first tank is going to fall. Oh, barely not. LucianO moving in. There's the counter scan. But this tank is still going to go down. And LucianO just forcing his way into that third. Vikings, they land. LucianO has to land his Vikings. Oh, does he in time? He tries to get in position, lands the Vikings, he will lose 1, 2, 3 tanks, but last GG gets caught. LucianO, he breaks through, and LucianO, he does fight back, he does put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. LucianO, he does fight back, does put a point on the board, and with that, we do have a back and forth. We did have a back and forth here. GG, well played. Again, the one game that LucianO didn't proxy, and hey, he wins. the one time, Bobby, the one time. Ay, este LucianO. Shaking my head. Of course, we had a very intense, very dynamic series. Game 1, LucianO went proxy 2 racks, got shut down. Game 2, proxy BC, got shut down as well. Game 3, instead, it was actually Bombilla going proxy Banshee. He got shut down as a result. Was shut down. Did lose so many SCVs here when it came to the main defense, and with that, that leads us into our next set of matches. Here we go, scrolling on over. Let's catch up on the bracket, catch up on the group. So we just wrapped up our first 2 series. Bombilla 2-1 over Tiny Horse. Likewise, Bombilla 2-1 over LucianO. Solid result here by Bombilla. I'll be honest, I was favoring LucianO coming into that series, but again, I mean, LucianO, he was cheesing it up quite a bit and was punished for it. And now we're going to be featuring the heavy hitter himself, Mute. Mute is coming in as the favored in Group D. After the break, we have Mute versus Bombilla and Mute versus LucianO. Mute's going up against both Terran players here. We'll see how he compares. We'll see if the 2 Terrans can bring him down, as Mute has been improving a lot over the past year. It's been impressive to see the growth of Mute as a player. Oh boy. So it is going to be some intense PvTs. For now though, we're going to be going on that break, so take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, and hydrate all of your hydras. When we come back, Mute versus Bombilla is coming up next. See you soon.